Hilda, the newest Netflix original animated series, which follows Hilda, which the show is named after, a little girl who lives out in the countryside. And it's this countryside that's full of magical, mystical type creatures. There's elves, giants, all kinds of weird, exotic creatures that are very unique and interesting and magical. So, in the show, Hilda, in the first two episodes, through a series of events involving elves and a giant, has to move to the city, a city called Trollsburg. So, she moves to the city and she has to get used to it because she's used to living out in the countryside, which is nice and warm and has all these great animals. But when she gets to the city, she finds it cold and people bad and mean, and she doesn't really enjoy it. But as she lives there, she finds friends, David and Frida, her best friends, and she learns that there's plenty of adventure to be had in the city and that there's still plenty of great mystical, magical things that you just have to look for. So I really enjoyed this show. It's really good. There's a lot of things I liked. Specifically, one of the things that I really loved was the style or the color of this show. It just feels warm and comforting, which is something I really loved. I just love the color palettes they use. It's just really, really amazing. And they go great with the character designs. I love these character designs. These characters look really amazing and cool. This show is based off a comic book or a book, I believe, and that's where they got all the designs from. So whoever did that did a fantastic job. I love how these characters look and how a lot of the magical and mystical characters and creatures look. They're very, very cool and interesting and really nice. Specifically, one of my favorites is this guy named Woodman, which is a little wooden person, and he has like a log body and he has like a wooden head that just kind of floats above his body. Very cool, very, very interesting. I really like that character or visually. And all the other characters, like I said, are well designed. I love these characters. Hilda is very cool. She's one of my favorite characters that I've had in a long time. I just really love this character. She's so fun and happy and adventurous and just this overall great character. I mean, you see this type of character a lot, but she just kind of just stands out, or at least to me she stands out from a lot of these other type characters, you know, the fun, adventurous, having ones. She seems like a regular kid who just likes to have fun and explore, and you know, she's brave and strong, and a lot of things that I really liked and enjoyed about this character. I just grew attached. Usually I like side characters because they seem more interesting, but in this show she just really shone, and I really, really liked her. Her supporting cast is also pretty good. I had some troubles with one character named Frida, one of her best friends, because one of the storylines later in the show, she just kind of irked me, and I still haven't forgiven her, but it's whatever. This show is just great. I love a lot of the adventures that Hilda and her friends go on. One of my specific favorite episodes, which is kind of hard to choose, my favorite episodes would have to be the first two episodes because they just set the tone for the show, and it's really fun and fantastic. It's great seeing Hilda going on this adventure trying to save her home. And but there's plenty, all these episodes, most of them are standalone. They're very great, but there's some that kind of connect to each other. But one of the episodes that I really like, that I guess really kind of makes you understand this show, is Hilda and her friends discovered this village of elves. It's kind of unique to the city because there's not a lot of elves there. They usually live out in the countryside. And she has an elf friend called Alzo, I believe. I'm not pronouncing his name right, but he tells them the story about these elves that they got banished because the elves are very bureaucratic. I said, destroyed that word. But bureaucratic, they love paperwork. Bureaucratic, oh my gosh, they love paperwork, whatever. They love paperwork, so they were doing this house sale thing or whatever, and one of the tribes forgot to sign the paper 3 times, so they got banished. So they're trying to find this, I forget, kind of like a silkworm, but not a worm. I forget what they called it. To use its fires to burn these papers. It's a very cool, interesting adventure. I really enjoyed it. It shows like the kind of like the mundane, how this is kind of real. All these fantasy creatures are part of normal life. They even got paperwork and all kinds of crazy things. But it's a great fun adventure that kind of really exemplifies this show as a whole, and I really enjoyed it. There's plenty of fantastic episodes. A lot of the ones towards the end are really cool and interesting. A lot of weird, cool dynamics, which I really, really love this world. I love how they set it up. I love the atmosphere. I love a lot of the things that they just did. It's just overall fantastic. I love the magical creatures, a lot of the weird magic and everything. It's just a whole lot of fun and a great creative world, which is really interesting, which is saying a lot because nowadays there's, a dime a dozen fantasy worlds. I was just talking about the Dragon Prince last weekend and all kinds of things, and there's going to be plenty of other shows, but this show stands out because it follows a little girl who lives in a fantasy world, and she's not going on this crazy epic quest or anything. Like, this fantasy stuff is just part of her daily life. Seeing a troll or whatever, it's like, oh, it's a troll, it's part of her life, and it's very interesting how they just incorporate it into her life, and just like in a different way. It's just kind of fun and interesting, so I really enjoyed it and love it. The show is just fantastic. So I give this show a 9 out of 10. Yeah, 9 out of 10. I just absolutely love it. I can't wait for the second season, which I really hope they get one, because it's a great show. If you love animation, if you got kids, you'll really enjoy this. If you love fantasy settings, fantasy worlds, you'll also enjoy this show. Overall, I think you will enjoy this show. It's a good show. It's nice. It's comforting. It's warm. It's fun. It's funny. It's interesting. It's everything that makes a good show good and more. There's so many great episodes that I would just love to sit and talk about. That just watch the entire season. You'll just enjoy it. It's just fantastic. So if you watch the show, did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you for watching, like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out. Hey, if you like this video, we have several other awesome videos you can check out. And again, thanks for watching.